we are going to work together, and we're working together as an actor to an actor, and to be on set with those guys, it's such a huge accomplishment because I'm such a fan of artists, and I'm such a fan of good people, and I'm like to be there on set with them and like work with them and spend the day with them. That to me was more rewarding than the idea of the idea of like what my character and the show. It was more about like how lucky am I to be doing what I love and working with guys like this. And that to me was that to me is, if you guys can do anything in your life, pursue your passion, pursue what you love. There's nothing more rewarding than doing that. And yeah, so that's my answer to that question. It really touches my life. It really just touches my soul when I think, God, I did something to fix myself, and the universe rewarded me with getting to do what I love and making a living at it, and that to me is a big blessing. So that was my I usually get paid for that. I usually get paid to cry. I don't like getting emotional for free. Yes.
Hi, my name is Selma.
Hi, Selma.
I was curious because I also happen to have a Chihuahua that I got at a tough time, and I was wondering why you decided to name yours Phil?
Phil? Because my ex. She was from Pennsylvania and, Philadelphia, and, was kind of just a name that came when he came running. He was a runaway. He was running down the street. He had a poodle with him. And they were just running down the main street on Magnolia. And the two of them were just like they didn't even care that cars were coming. And my ex called for him. And he came running to her, and the poodle kept going. He's like, later. And I came home, and she's like, look what I got. I'm like, no. Not another dog. Not another rescue. And then he looked at me, and he's like, huh? I'm like, oh, you want to stay, buddy? And so I looked at him, and she's like, what's his name? I'm like, Phil. Phil. And she's like, short for Philadelphia. She goes, yeah. And then his full name then was Philly P. Because when he pees, he lifts his leg, and for some reason this leg stays down, so he pees, and he pees always on this leg. He pisses on his leg constantly. And then he runs in, he licks his arm off. Oh. Could you imagine if we did that as people? Like if I sat down on the toilet and I was like, I got off the toilet and started licking my hand? That's horrible. That's why he's a dog. And people are like, men are like dogs. I'm like, no, we're not. We're like dogs. You just walk over to a tree and pee on it? Oh yeah, sometimes. That's his name. Yes, the boys are back. Yes. All right, one more question, I guess. Is that what we're doing, or no more? No more questions. Hi. Oh, so it's not down. Oh my God, I didn't see you guys over there. I thought they left. One more? Two more? One more? What do we got? You guys need some time to check one? Check two. Question? You guys just left. One more? Are we done? Are we done?
What? I thought we had one more coming. I thought we came out for the big last question bit.
Yeah.
No more last question? That was
one last question. Choose what it is. Make it good. Here we go. Join together. Join your questions together. Put them together side by side. What's your name? Hi, Megan and Alan.
Our first convention, and you're so much nicer than in person. I'm really excited to see you.
Nice to meet you too.
You already answered our question, so
okay.
Will you get karaoke tonight?
I have to fly home tonight. Yeah, I know. Trust me, I love karaoke. And I'll finish with this. The reason I'm flying home is my mom and my family. My grandfather passed away in September, 95, so he lived a good life. But my grandmother, through that process, decided to basically come out and say, well, the one thing I've held as a secret is that I was forced to give up my daughter for adoption after 3 weeks of giving birth. And we were like, say what? And so it was revealed that my mom and my grandma and my aunt had a sister in the world somewhere. And my grandmother had not seen her since she was 3 weeks old. That was the last time she saw her, and she was forced to give her up for adoption because it was like the 20s, and you know, they're like, look, you can't keep her, there's a war, you know, you're not married, and so they took her baby from her, and she kept that secret for 70 years. And then my grandfather passed away, and respectfully, she decided to let the family know. So we took to social media, a lot of wonderful people who helped me with my social media and run it, and reached out to a lot of you and said, hey, can we help find this woman? We had her name, her birth date, and just a few other bits of information. We found her. So my grandma yesterday, it was so touching, it's on Facebook, my grandmother yesterday met her daughter at the airport in LA for the first time in 7 years. And yeah, it's on my Facebook. If you guys get a chance, watch the video. It'll make, I was like in my hotel room like, what's up, Auntie Jan? It was amazing, and you guys were a huge part of that. So thank you so much. The SPN family is a real thing, and you guys helped find my family. So thank you. God bless.
Well done, SPN family. Ladies and gentlemen, family, take it away. Backstage figuring out what's going on now.
Okay.
Hey Liz, what's up next?
What do you got?
What do we do?
Huh?
Oh, that's cool. I know what's going on now. Now I know.
Huh?
I know what's going on now, Rob.
Do we have another guest?
It turned out we do. Shall we bring him out?
Let's see, I gotta make a perfect song.
You got the perfect song? Well, by all means, sing it.
Don't call me.
It's a great intro and also an ominous warning to everyone not to call Rob Osric.
I mean, it kind of bothers me when people mix us up.
By the way, isn't it weird? Like I feel like I just saw you guys in a movie together. Oh wait, I did the Tough Mudder video. That's right. The Rob Benedict original film, Tough Mudder. A Rob Benedict event.
And thank you for putting that together, Rob. Rob spent like 9 months editing that video. Full 9 months.
Well, it took me 9 months. I didn't spend the whole 9 months editing. Written by, directed, and edited by.
Do you guys know what we're talking about, Tough Mudder video? If you don't know what we're talking about, it's that we all did a Tough Mudder. Jason Mans, Osric Chow, Rob Benedict,
Jeff, no. Jared Jensen.
Jared and Johansson, we all did another video, and we had a bunch of GoPros strapped on various people. Then Rob took it into the edit bay, and it took. If you were pregnant when we did Tough Mudder, you had your baby before Rob finished it.
It started as just like, I was just going to put it together for the guys. I just threw together all the footage. It was like 40 minutes long. It was like, here you go. Here it is. And of course the two directors in the group, Rich and Jensen, were like, question about the first act. Why'd you go to the master before the close-up? I'm just curious on that trip. Like, what? No, it's just you guys, just buddies. Well, then fans caught on that we had this video, and they're like, where's the video? And I was like, I'm not prepared to like put this out there. This is not professionally done. I'm no editor. And then, of course, like really good friends do, they all went online and were like, no, where it is. He's keeping the video from you. I don't know.
Hashtag what's up, Rob?
Yeah. So then the pressure, late night sweats, I cut out some of the fat and tried to. Anyway, it's not a professional video, but if you watch it, you can go and see it now. I tweeted it. We all tweeted it out.
You followed Osric, Rob, Jared, Jensen, me. We all retweeted it. It's out there.
But go watch it. It's fun. It's just like, it's just like us running this race. But
it's a lot of fun. When I say Rob put it out, we eternally grateful for him doing it. But still, even yesterday, the emails were coming in, giving me a hard time. Like Rob's like, really, you don't love guys? He sent an email saying, no response, and just dropped this thing. You're not going to say something? And Jensen wrote back, hold on, Robbie, don't spoil it for me. I'm on part 2 of this miniseries you created. I'm binge watching. Sure.
But it's good. It's and you get to see all this kind of biffing and certain points.
And it was a nice glimpse into our lives because we weren't planning on releasing anything. We weren't even planning on filming it. I think I just asked to bring a GoPro.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just because I wanted to wear a GoPro.
Yeah. But you had yours on your
I had mine on my forehead.
And Jared
had the wrist and
had it on his wrist, which is why at one point I go to the Jared camps.
We realized afterwards, that's for GoPro enthusiasts, terrible place to put your GoPro on your wrist. I mean, it's not a stationary part of your body.
Especially not for a tough hunter race. We're on our hands and knees.
And he moves so much with that arm. He travels so far.
He's a boulder. Fire, big fire. Eat food.
He grips his hair.
All you see is his hand goes through his hair and it's like rushing water. What is that? Is that a river? Oh, it's his hair. Anyway, speaking of hair,
Osric Chow.
The clean cut Osric Chow.
And the tough mudder. Love you too. I think we're definitely gonna do it again sometime. Hopefully this year. It was a lot of fun. Has anyone ever done the Tough Mudder before? Okay. Well, it's not the only one. There's a lot of different ones, like the Spartan race and all that. And it's really, the gimmick is that it's such a crazy event and it's really hard. And there's you get electrocuted at the end and no one wants to get electrocuted. But it's actually not that bad. So, if you get a group of friends together, I strongly suggest you do it. If you haven't seen the video, take a look. And essentially, it's just like a big event where we're just walking through mud and hanging out. And that's all it really is. If you can't do an event, Rob really shouldn't have done the electrocution thing because his wife really didn't want him to. But he did it anyways. But let's say he actually listened to his wife, he could have totally walked around it. It's really fun, and yeah, if you get an opportunity, I think you should try it. And the electric, it's like 10,000, 30,000 volts. It's not. Actually, really sucks. Bob and weave. Just don't touch me. Hi.
Hello, my name is Amber. I wanted to ask you about when y'all made the Hillywood parody video. How much fun and
So can you repeat the last part of that question?
what are some cool stories y'all have from making the video?
So the supernatural. I did 2 parodies with the Hillywood show. First one was a Walking Dead one, and that was really fun because we had slow-mo camera with us, the slowest of the mo's. And so we would just shoot random things and just watch it in really slow motion, and everything is interesting that slow. And we had these horses. Oh, so there's these. This is probably one of my favorite things. We were in Calhoun, Georgia, and we had a horse booked for the next morning because we needed a horse in the shop. And the horse person calls and says, "The horse is sick. We can't do it anymore." And this is at 10 p.m. at night. We needed it at 7 a.m. the next day. And so they're freaking out. And I go up to the manager of this restaurant they were eating at. And she was a fan of the show. I'm like, hey, we had a wonderful meal. Thank you very much for everything. Do you happen to have a horse that we can use tomorrow morning at 7 a.m.? And she's like, just give me a moment. Picks up her phone, calls a friend of hers, and the next morning we have 3 horses. And they were awesome. So they go shoot with one, and I wasn't in that shot, so I'm just riding horses the whole thing. And that was the first time I actually got to gallop for real, because we had this huge field, and the people taking care of the horses yeah, go. And I don't know if you've ever ridden a horse. I mean, they're such powerful creatures, and they're just beautiful and scary at the same time. But when you're going at full gallop, it's just, I don't know, it's such an adrenaline rush. And I've been skydiving and that bored me, but horse riding was like, that was something. Because I felt like, I don't know, it wasn't in my control. I guess skydiving is. I don't know, I'm more scared of the horse than jumping out of a plane. But a great experience. And then when we did the Supernatural parody, we did a couple days in Oregon. You're from Oregon, I take it. Beautiful place. We were in this tiny shack of a hotel out in the middle of nowhere, and it was a Wednesday night. We were shooting at like 6 a.m. with the sun, so the girls had to get up at 3 a.m. And before we booked the hotel, they asked like, okay, like we noticed that there's like this music party, like how late's that gonna go? And they're like, oh yeah, it'll be done by like 11. It's just like a music night that we have every Wednesday. So we're there. The music starts, and it's like a full-blown reggae concert, and it goes till 2 a.m. And there's only 2 rooms in this little inn, and we have both of them, and so it's the rooms and then the lodge area where the concert was. And so we basically listened to reggae music most of the night. And in the morning, the whole place smelled like marijuana. And there was like 5 people in sleeping bags in the hallway, and a goat that was walking through the laundry. Not a goat, a deer. A deer with a bandana on. His name was Sugar Bob. And it was just one of those things that I just never thought I would see. Yeah, it was really fun. Anytime you get to do like a tiny independent production like that, you get to do all these crazy things. Something like Supernatural or any big productions, usually you don't get those random happenings just because there's so many people there to make sure that doesn't happen. I guess Supernatural, you still have those happening because we got Jared and Jensen messing around all the time, and they're kind of unpredictable, but apart from that, unless you go in these indie productions, you don't get these crazy stories. So we definitely have a lot of really fun adventures. Just driving along the highway. Sometimes we had to drive on the left side of the road, and it was like really dangerous just for a better shot with the lighting. That was really dangerous. We should have done that. But we did, and we survived. So.
Well, you did a great job in the video. It was very entertaining.
Oh, thank you. I want it to be Crowley. So Crowley. They found a guy that kind of looked like Mark, so worked out. Hi.
Hi, my name's Heather. I'm actually going to break the ice a little because my daughter's nervous.
What's your name?
This is Ashlyn. But first of all, I was really pissed off when you were killed off. And my husband walks back and forth and sometimes watches, sometimes don't. And I yelled out, "No effing way!" And he runs out and he's like, "Baby, what's wrong?" I'm like, "They killed off another one."
Is that how you react every time someone dies?
Well, I watched The Walking Dead too, so I'm a person a lot.
You should be used to it by now then.
Yeah, but it was a different show. But anyway, I'm going to my nervous one.
I was wondering how you felt when you were so many things. Blame it on the monster. I was wondering how you felt when you found out you were going to be killed off.
When I found out, Jared actually told me, and I didn't believe him. And he tried to do it in a nice way, but because he was such a dick most of the time, I don't want to believe him. So I was on set, I was waiting for the next shot to be set up. I was just sitting there, and Jared comes up to me, he's like, "Hey, sorry buddy, but I kill you in episode blah blah blah." And I just looked at him like, shut up, Jared, you're an idiot. And he's like, no, and then he shows me the outline, and, you know, sure enough, it was there. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, would he go out of his way to fabricate this whole thing? The answer is yes, he would. So I'm like, I kind of believe you. Anyways, I didn't say it, but sure enough, it did happen. But I had enough. That was like 3 episodes that I had to like kind of let it stew and let that settle in. So yes, he wasn't lying for once. Tell the truth. The one time I wanted him to be joking. The one really crappy part about that is right the weekend before he told me, I think it was Chicago Con, and someone asked me like, hey, if Kevin were to die, how would he die? And I'm like, for maximum drama, Sam kills him. I just threw it out there. Laughing at myself. Yeah. Not gonna do that. Hi.
I just wanted to know, like, how do you have the ability to go out in your cosplay, no matter what it is? Because, like, I can hardly come out in a crop top to here, and, like, it kind of, like, you, like, really don't care what people think of you, and I just want to know how you do that.
You know what? Let me tell you, it's... I don't think if I had all of my senses with me that I would. I mean, not saying, like, I don't do any substance, but when I first did it, the first time I ever did it at a supernatural convention was Princess Bubblegum. And in retrospect, that was so crazy. But at the time, it seemed like a good idea. Because I had spent months working on this costume, and I was going to wear it at San Diego Comic-Con. And in San Diego Comic-Con, if the man shows up as Princess Bubblegum, that's totally normal. It's just a fun costume, and you get to walk around and be cool. But I ended up working that week on a movie, and I couldn't go, and I was really upset about it. But I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to let a good costume go to waste. I'll just wear it at the next convention, which happened to be JaxCon that year, which was my third convention ever. And I go to conventions as an attendee all the time, and so it was just it didn't register in my head that I was a guest, and guests had to like do things. You're not allowed to dress up, but I did it, and people freaked out a lot. But then I just kept doing it, and eventually people were just like, oh, okay, he's just gonna do his thing. So I don't know. I still get nervous every time I do it. There's always gonna be all those thoughts in your head. It's like, okay, what if people hate it? What if this is too much? But I think part of that is when you train as an actor, one of the main things that you've got to do is commit. No matter how crazy or uncomfortable you might think it is, it's just to do it 100%. And there's this nice quote from one of my favorite shows, Parks and Recreation. Don't half-ass 2 things, just whole-ass 1 thing. So, when you pick that thing you're gonna do, just whole-ass and go for it, and don't second-guess yourself. I'm really good at making impulsive decisions, committing to it to the point where I can't go back. And so with Princess Bubblegum, I put it on, without thinking whether or not it was a good idea. And by the time I stepped out and the first person saw it, it was too late to take it off. And so I just went on stage, even though I was like needing to pee several times by the time I walked on the stage. So yeah, just most of the time I think your ideas aren't going to be that crazy. You're going to be the one that's going to be hardest on you, and that's normal because you like to do good things, which is great. You have good taste. So just go and do it, and if it doesn't work out, do it again. As long as you enjoy it. Yeah, it's fun. It's worth it. Hey, girls.
Hey,
Hey, girls.
Osric.
Hey, girls.
Hey, Osric.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
This is a group that went to, well, part of the group that went to Nicaragua with the nice to see you again. How's things? No food poisoning since. No. A lot of us got sick. I got sick. I think I drank the ice cubes or something.
So what was your favorite part of Nicaragua and why was it all of us?
That's a good way to ask a question. Because it reminded me of any type of movie experience, any type of summer camp. You go off this crazy place that you never would have, you do a project together and you get to know everyone, and yeah, it is the project, but it's the bonding, the relationships, the crazy adventures that we get to do that becomes your favorite thing. Now, did you guys end up going to see the Turtle Beach?
No, we never did.
That would have been a highlight. That memory would have been so good. I would have been talking about that right now. Anyways. But yeah, it was great. You know, just late nights in the ocean, swimming. That's so dangerous. Why did we do that? Yeah, we did a lot of beach swimming and at night, and there's this one time the tide came in and like almost took all of our stuff with it. Very poor planning on our part. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. What was your favorite part? Come on, Kat.
Burying you in the sand.
What?
Burying you in the sand.
Oh yeah. I want to be buried in the sand. But I mean, we could only do so much. We had so much time, and then the tide came in. But they made me was I a mermaid or did I just have
You were a
breasts?
mermaid.
Okay. I was a mermaid. Again. Man, that was fun. If you've never been to Nicaragua, I think the biggest thing that I took away from that trip in terms of, I know, just food for thought, was how much I take for granted clean drinking water. We have it here, you know. I'm from Vancouver. It's one of the cleanest drinking waters in the world, and you know, I come to the States. I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to drink it. They have stuff in it. Nicaragua, you can't even brush your teeth with the tap water because you could probably get sick. You know, and the fact that we have it in abundance here. I mean, even though there's a drug, California, you know, it still runs. It's, I don't know. Since being in Nicaragua, it's definitely helped me appreciate what we have, and I think a lot of these trips where you get to, you know, see people in different situations, it just puts things in perspective. Because everything is relative, and we're always used to looking up, and so sometimes we forget that we're kind of high already. So I think for me, that was really nice for that trip. Does that make sense? Okay. Nice to see you guys again. I forgot to bring my shirt. I'm sorry. Okay. I got a wristband though. Hi.
Hi. I wanted to ask you what was your favorite craziest moment with Misha?
Man, I really gotta think about this one. I don't know if I've had normal moments with Misha. I don't know. You know what? The E4K was kind of weird. We're just kayaking down the Fraser River. I was in a Sailor Jupiter outfit, and he was in a business suit and sandals. And we weren't going very fast. We thought the current was going to be like really taking us long, but it's really shameful. It was so bad that we didn't even look like how far we went because we're like, oh yeah, we're totally gonna do like 50 kilometers or miles. I think we did closer to 4. It was very underwhelming. And I'm pretty sure I was paddling most of the time because he's sitting in the back tweeting. And every time I look back, he just like grabbed the paddle. Smart fella. I don't know, craziest thing that I've done with Misha. I don't know. I feel like, you know, one thing that I learned about Misha on the Nicaragua trip, because he was there as well, and the reason why he does a lot of things, he just has this innate, like, necessity to not agree or to go against things. So he's like, you know what, we were talking about food. He's like, I used to be like a hardcore vegan, like that asshole vegan that no one wants to talk to. Until I went and did this Buddhist meditation thing. And, you know, it was really relaxing. But they said, and you shouldn't eat meat. And he's like, and after I heard that, like, I just had to eat meat. And I think that explains a lot about him. So if you ever want him to do something, just tell him not to do it. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like most things I do with Misha are not, I don't know about crazy. I think that's probably to come. There'll be plenty to come. Yeah. I don't know, what's the craziest thing you've seen me do with Misha? I think it zooms over my head. Maybe not that much. Maybe not that much.
Everything?
Once I ruined his nice leather jacket because I painted myself as the RA logo, and I gave him a hug. He was very nice about it, but I don't think it washed off all the way. Oh, it was a really nice jacket. This one time I dressed up as his mascot from one of the Gishwoods. And he called me dildo head for a week. I had an elephant trunk sticking out of my forehead. Alright, enough about Misha. He's a fun guy. He gets the worst out of me. Alright.
Hi, my name's Taylor, and my question for you is, what's the weirdest thing that happened to you on the supernatural set?
The weirdest thing to happen... you know what? Define weird. What's your definition of weird?
Crazy?
I think it's all the stories that they get. The beat camera crew is my favorite, and hearing their stories. The first week that I was on the shoot, they were all dressed like really slutty for no reason. And it slowly escalated from there. So the first day, you know, one of the first days I've seen them, they're all in like super short shorts, booties hanging out. You know, crop tops, and they're like shooting, doing all these weird things, like while they're doing their job. And it was like no one bats an eyelash because it's the beat camera crew. And you hear these stories, and this one person told me this story. It's like, yeah, like my first day, like I was running through this thing, and I had to run downstairs and go into this room. And by the time I opened the room, I see Rosie, you know, on beat camera. He was like basically in his underwear with a ball gag in his mouth. Tied up to a bed. And I was like, ever since I heard that, I'm like, oh, I hope that happens to me. But it hasn't. But the beat camera crew, I think they're hilarious. And I don't know. I think I avoided a lot of the weird. You know, I ate a lot of ribs this one time, ate a lot of hot dogs another time. No, I wouldn't say it was a very weird set at all. It was a very fun set, but it was very much like clockwork. You know, everyone knew what they were doing, and you know, there's a couple of guys fooling around. It was just a lot of fun. I wouldn't say that's weird. I mean, the whole set is weird, I guess, if you wanted to call it that way. Everyone's like best friends. That doesn't usually happen. Everyone likes each other. Everyone gets along. Everyone knows what they're doing, and so just. That set has so few problems is kind of weird, because usually on a set, someone's screaming at someone, or you know, we're late, or missing this shot, or missing that thing. And for Supernatural, it runs so smoothly that it is kind of weird in that way. So I was kind of spoiled on that set. Not anymore. Hi.
Hi. So my question is, what is the most elaborate prank that J2 has pulled on you?
Always Jared. The most elaborate prank that Jared has pulled on me was the episode where I had the frying pan. Yeah, it was they gave me an option. It's like, okay, we have this cast iron frying pan, it's 20 pounds, or we have the rubber one, and it's like 2 pounds. I'm like, give me the cast iron one. It looks more real. And so that's when I was going to use. And I was talking to the director, we're going through the scene, and Jared's in the back, in my eyesight, playing with like the heavy cast iron pan. He's like, ooh, like just feeling the weight. You know, just like doing curls with it and stuff. For like 10 minutes. And by the end of the conversation, like, the director walks off and he's just like, awesome! And he throws a pan at me. And I'm freaking out trying to catch it because, I mean, I'm not even thinking about my safety. I'm thinking, like, don't ruin this beautiful set. And then I catch it, and he just laughs at you. And then he starts to describe what he did. It's like, I was playing with this when you weren't looking. I switched it off with Robin, with the rubber one. And I don't know if that was elaborate, but he really he's patient with his pranks. And the only thing I could say was, you really don't have anything better to do with your time. And his answer was, nope. Yeah. And Jared. Hi.
Hi, my name's Ardina. Sorry, my accent also, I want to get nervous. Okay, so I was wondering, it's there. So, sorry. Okay, first of all, very cute picture yesterday with Hilly. And second of all, I was wondering if you have any tips for amateur cosplaying, because your costumes are always on point.
Sorry, can you say that last part?
Do you have any tips for amateur cosplaying?
Have you done it before?
No.
Oh, okay. First tip, just do it, just start.
Plan tomorrow.
And I'll say this tip, this advice goes for anything. If you want to do something, just do it. The movie that changed my life was Yes Man. And there's a book called The Alchemist that's very similar. Now, it has a very simple principle. If you want something to, if you're unhappy with your life, well, just start saying yes to the things that you're usually going to say no to. So you say yes, and the bad things are going to happen, that's why you would say no. But then the good things that you never think of happen as well. There's another proverb that I really like. It's a Chinese proverb, and it says, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is today. So, there's 2 instances where this really came into effect. So I was watching a movie, and there's a guy playing guitar in the movie, and I was thinking in my head while I was watching the movie, I'm like, I always want to play guitar. And then I stopped the movie. I'm like, wait, Osric, why are you saying you always wanted to play guitar? And so I went on Craigslist. I signed up for a guitar lesson. I went to Guitar Center. I bought a cheap guitar. And within 3 hours, I was in my first guitar lesson. That was 3 years ago. I'm still playing. And I wouldn't have if I didn't stop that movie. Same thing happened with hockey. So I'm like, hockey's the only sport I've never tried. I've always wanted to play hockey. And so I went out to a secondhand sporting goods store and I bought a bunch of equipment, went on the ice rink, realized that I needed to learn how to skate first. And I went to the ice rink every single day for a month until I learned how to skate. And then I started doing drop-in games and now I can play hockey. So, whatever it is that you want to do, don't look at the end, just take it step by step. And my first cosplays were made out of cardboard, and some of them are still my favorites because they're so clunky and fun and stupid, and you don't really care about them. My first big one was SpongeBob SquarePants. And it was a refrigerator box that I covered in construction paper and garbage bags of color, and I went to school with it, and I played soccer, and I was the goalie, and it was, I didn't care if I was just getting pelted, that was the goal. And it kind of hurt, but it was so much fun, and I really didn't care if it was destroying the costume, and it was just, I think, going through those motions that it was worth it.
I didn't expect the answer to be so inspiring.
You should just do it. Oh my god, this is a guitar. I'm gonna try. So the first time I ever performed music for anybody was because of Loud and Swing. I would never have ever performed music because I'm just not. I was never really into music. I don't even listen to that much music. This one time I moved to China and I have the same 100 songs on my iTunes for 3 years and I never noticed. So that gives you my musical background. Well, I also don't play electrical. Okay. I've been practicing a song. I could play, hopefully I remember it. It's an acoustic song, so it's also a lot louder than that. Okay. So, wait, where'd she go? Okay, she's off. Now, the first time I played music in front of a crowd, I was not ready. And I almost literally shit my pants before I stepped onto the stage. But I committed to it. I told the guys, I'm going to do it. And so I pushed myself past the point of me not being able to do it anymore. And I'm not the type of person that will just say, okay, I can't do it, I can't do it. I'll just go and do it no matter how bad it is. So that's how I got started, and I'm doing that again right now. So, I'm doing this for you so that when you come to a time when you're going to do something, you just do it and don't think about how bad it's going to be. Okay. My mouth is dry. My pants are soft. That's how you're going to kick me off?
Osric Swain.
So that's what you can accomplish if you practice once a week. Every couple of months, for like 2 years.